Hey everybody, I'm walking through my house right now so I can find my sunglasses so I can go outside because my children are downstairs. Well, one of them is with one of his friends. Um, Here we go. Watching the Olympics. So, I didn't watch any of the opening ceremonies because I was, hi Donna Snyder. I was in New York and I was at an event and I was out with some of my friends. So I didn't get to watch the opening ceremonies, hi Jackie, but but Wyatt got to, my 10-year-old, and with my husband, and they had a really good time watching it. So now, I think this is like the first time that he's really gotten into watching the Olympics. He watched the last Winter Olympics, but, like, he's a very sports-oriented kid, so he's really into it. So right now, he and his friend Anthony are downstairs in our family room watching the Olympics and, like, screaming at the top of their lungs about who's winning what and what great move somebody just did. And they've been doing that for the last literally 24 hours. Anytime they can get in front of a TV, they turn it on. So I have always been a fan of the Olympics myself. I remember watching it with my parents. And I remember watching it when it was a big deal. I mean, it's always a big deal. But, like, as I got older, with friends and, like, having Olympics watching parties in college and, like, all crazy kind of, any excuse, really, for a party. So, there's that. So this year we're watching it with the kids a lot. Well, a lot. It's been 3 days. But last night I was on the couch with... we have one of Wyatt's friends sleeping over with the 3 boys, and we were watching the diving. And oh my God, first of all, amazing. And we won the silver medal in the event that we were watching, the synchronized diving event. But it's just amazing to me how these kids have the drive that they have from such a young age. I mean, I guess when you're conditioned from birth, basically, to focus on something that you're good at, then that's one thing. And so I think about this all the time because my kids, well, Wyatt plays sports. Elias just started soccer and he's still 4, so he doesn't really know. But Wyatt plays sports and he does very well at every sport that he plays. But I'm not one of those I'm not that parent who looks at him and says, I need for you to be conditioning to be the next Michael Phelps or Derek Jeter or Tiger Woods or whatever it is. Even though I know that if he probably was consistent at whatever sport he was playing, he could probably do it well enough to do it on a college level. Probably. I mean, I've had people tell me that he's, at 10 years old, really good at playing soccer, or when he played baseball when he was super young and they moved him up to a division higher because he's very good at strategery. It's my friend Julia's word, and it's like my new favorite word. He's really good at being strategic when he plays sports. But I don't want to be that. I don't want our lives to focus around whatever sport he's playing. I don't want it to dictate what we do. And I don't think I'm doing him a disservice by it. I think maybe as he gets older and he chooses, a sport that he might want to focus on a little bit more heavily, then that's a conversation that we have to have and a decision that we have to make together as a family. But I don't want to force anything on him that I think that he will eventually resent us for. So I look at these kids and I say to myself, do they actually want this? Is this something that they truly want in their hearts and guts and souls? Yes.
When should we go?
You guys can go right now. Look, there's my 10-year-old right here. Say hello. You guys can go right now. You can either walk or bike down, and I'll bring lunch down later. They're going down to the lake to go play tennis. I guess they're finished with or maybe they want to go play Olympics. So yeah, I feel like I don't want to have a resentful kid because of what I want. Like, I want my children to be happy. Number one. That's the most important thing in my life is I tell them every day, make good choices and be happy and be nice to people. Those are the 3 rules that I have for them every single morning as we are walking to school or going to school or they're, going out and having their day in the summer. Be happy, make good choices, and, be nice to others. That's all I really care about. So as they get older, I feel like it's important for them to make their own decisions. And we allow Wyatt to do that. We allow him to, is this something you really want to do? Because I'm not doing it. You have to love what you're doing. I don't have to love what you're doing. You have to love what you're doing. But if you make the commitment to do it, you have to follow through. So you can't quit your soccer team in the middle of the season because you're losing. That you're not allowed. Like, you made the commitment to do it, you have to stick with it. If you don't want to do it next season, then you have to come up with a good reason, and we have to talk about it. And if it's something that you're really passionate about not doing, then that is something that we will talk about and probably allow that to happen. Because I don't want them to feel like pressured from me to do something that I want them to do when they don't want to do it. It's all about them living their lives and us supporting them as they live their lives. And that's really the message I wanted to focus on today. Because I feel like at 10 years old, he's not really equipped to say to me, yeah, I want to play soccer for the rest of my life, or I want to play baseball for the rest of my life, or I want to be an Olympic swimmer. I find it hard to believe that most kids are like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I can remember watching synchronized swimming when I was a little girl and playing in the pool and being like, I want to be a synchronized swimmer. Okay. Like, I actually have a friend whose daughter is a synchronized swimmer, and that shit is hard, folks. Like, super hard. So, fantasizing about something and putting your mind to something are 2 completely different things. And, like, acting something out when you're a kid, right? How many of us wanted to be, well, I'm dating myself now, but, like, Mary Lou Retton. I distinctly remember when she won her gold medal. Every time I watch gymnastics, I can't not think about her. Now, I know some of you probably don't have any idea who she is because it was a long time ago. But, how could she have possibly known at such a young age that she wanted to be in the Olympics as a gymnast? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I have that innate drive in me. I don't think that came until a much later time in my life. Or maybe she just found her passion super early. I don't know, I don't know. I mean, I was never like a sports playing girl. I danced. So it wasn't competitively either. So I didn't really have a lot of competition in my life as a young child. My children do because they play sports and they understand what competition is. And my oldest is a very competitive kid. And that's not to say that I'm not competitive because I don't like to lose. Like, let's not go there. Like, I don't like to lose whenever I'm playing a game. I'm not a sore loser, but I definitely don't like to lose. So I can be competitive, but I'm not competitive sports-wise because I never was. And I never really played them. But yeah, so I look at him and I watch him compete, and he hates to lose, but he's very good at losing with dignity. Like, he has very good sportsmanship, which is great because if he didn't, I would probably knock his block off. But yeah, I mean, I think during Olympics, you would think right. Like, during the Olympics, you're like, oh, I could play. I mean, I could be a gymnast if I wanted to be a gymnast. This is funny because when we're in the city, and the New York City Marathon goes right by where we live, right? It's in our neighborhood. Mile number 13 is where Greenpoint, Brooklyn is. And we go out every year and watch the runners go by. And we do it from our friend's restaurant. So I am literally sitting my ass down in a chair, eating brunch, drinking mimosas, while these athletes and people, like regular normal people, are running by during the New York City Marathon. And I'm saying to myself, I should do that next year. And what happens the very next year? I sit my ass down in the same seat, drink my mimosa, and eat my Sage scrambled egg sandwich. every single mother effing year. It is not even like I talk myself into maybe I'll start running, which I hate to do. Because you're right. Like during the Olympics, you're like, fuck it, I could probably ride a horse like that. I could play ping pong in the Olympics. I can't dive because that's just silly talk. Those dives are crazy. But yeah, like you sit there and you fantasize about what it would be like, right? Yeah, LMAO. But you love the idea, right? I love the idea of being a runner too. I'm never going to be a runner. I will be an elliptical person for the rest of my life. I will never run. I have bad knees and bad feet. But the idea of it is amazing. And then I'm like, I could walk the New York City Marathon. Like, who wants to walk 26 miles? I don't. Not even a little bit. So yeah, so that's that. Just it, like I get motivated at a lot of different for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different things, right? And I work out. I work out a lot. And I enjoy that, but I don't enjoy it enough to be like, I want to be a professional, like, trainer. I don't want to do that. But there's motivation in my life in other places. There's motivation in my career that I've chosen for myself and my coaching and my passion for helping others and my passion for charity and all that kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff that really gets me going. And right. So I'm thinking about this and I'm saying to myself, I wonder, what these people are going to do after they've found their competitive stuff to be over. Like you look at former Olympians and you see what they're doing now. They're motivational speaking and they're talking about, what they've done. They're opening their own businesses. They're going into the next phase of their lives. And I guess that's where I am at this point, right? So it's like I went through my career in corporate America and I went through, I had my kids. And so now I'm taking my life and turning it into my next journey by my coaching and my parenting and my relationship coaching and all that stuff. And that's really where my passion lies. So I guess it's kind of similar. It's like you go from one thing to the next, but it's always been there, right? I've always had a passion for helping others and listening to others and helping other people and giving back. Like I've always been a very charitable person. I've always done, drives for people for causes and cancer walks and, MS walks and all that stuff. I've participated in those for many, many years. And raising money for, family and friends and people in need and giving back and all that kind of stuff. So that I think is right where, like you said, where Rachel, like where the lesson is. It's like you can turn your passion. It doesn't have to be a passion for sports or competitiveness necessarily, but you turn it into your passion could be what you do and your message that you want to get out there to your people or, the people that you want to, I guess, I don't know if minister is the right word or, maybe it is minister to or around. So that's my message for today. My message for today is, take your Olympic passion and put it towards something that you are genuinely jazzed about. Like turn it into what you want to do and what you see for yourself and what you envision for your future and your future for your family or however it is that you envision your life. I'm using my vision board a lot lately. Like I keep tearing out pictures and putting shit on it and the kids are helping me and I think it's a really great conversation haver. And I think it is sparking a lot of really good thoughts and practices in our house the last couple of days. Like we did it last week. So over the last week. But really like map and your vision can change, right? And it can go, you can start here and you can go in a completely different direction. And that's okay. As long as you are firm in your belief that your passion is what you believe in. Because it really is, it's all about you being happy. And so I tell my kids all the time, I don't have to be happy with the decisions that you make. You have to be happy with the decisions that you make. And I know that you're 10 and 4, so the decisions are very different, right? You have to be happy with the color of shoes that you want to wear, or the decision that you make whether or not to go to a friend's birthday party, or who you want to, hang out with. My son is going through that right now with this girl that's been hanging around him lately. And he said to me the other day, you know what, Mom? She's just not really that nice. and I don't necessarily want to hang out with her. I'm not going to not be nice to her, but I'm not going to go out of my way to hang out with her. And I thought that was very mature of him. I mean, he's 10 and she's old. She's 12. I mean, woohoo. But yeah, she's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's like, yeah, no, she didn't treat some people nicely. I told her I didn't like how she treated them, and I didn't tell her I didn't want to be her friend, but I just kind of have been distancing myself from that whole situation. And I thought that was very mature and very insightful. Yes. And so I don't worry about this kid that much. He's got his shit together, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think about stuff like that, and I think, okay, well, take your goodness and your kindness and what you're passionate about right now, which, is basically sports and going to the lake in the summer. Like, he's 10 and it's the summer, so he's not passionate about anything. And apply that into everything that you do in your life. And let's start doing that now. So let's create a vision board for you, and let's create an idea of what you want your life to look like. And it will change. And that's okay, because you're 10 and I'm 43 and mine changes all the damn time. But it's a good lesson for them to learn, I think, from a very young age. And I think maybe that's where these very competitive and successful kids turn into competitive and successful adults, because they start at a very young age with, parents who give them the opportunity to make their own decisions, and parents who support them rather than, push them to do things that they might not want to do. Make sure your kids are happy. That's all they have to be. They have to be happy. They have to be kind. And they have to be right. And there also do tend to be families that have legacies in the Olympics. That's absolutely true, because it's all they know. And it's all that they have been conditioned for, right? It's like, oh, well, my dad was a this, so I'm going to do this. And they keep it going. And it's like that for a lot of, look at the Manning family. And you're right, Rachel. It might make a difference. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're around that level all the time, it's kind of like a sink or swim thing, right? Like, there's always the kid who's exactly like the parent or the family member or their idol, who could very well be their quarterback father. And then there's the kid who's I don't want any part of that, because I don't want to have to live up to the hype. And so I get it. And I think that's a very hard decision for somebody in that kind. I will never be in that situation to make, right? My parents, I don't have any Olympic swimmers or anybody in my family that like that. So, but I find that to be very interesting. It could go one way or the other. And it's okay, you're either going to follow in their footsteps or you're going to take a completely different path. Yeah, right. So your parents were teachers. My dad was a cop. There's no way in hell I was ever going to be a cop. You can keep your gun in your pocket. No thanks. But yes, and my mother was an office manager. And so, I went to work and worked my ass off until I realized that I didn't have to work for anybody anymore and I could work for myself. And maybe that's a thing. Subconsciously, now that I think about it. Now, Rachel, you're going to have me think about this all day. Maybe that's a thing. So yeah, so my message for today is support your children, support their decisions, support their happiness. Watch the Olympics, because they're super fun to watch and they're super fun to fantasize about. And that's it. I have a challenge coming up next week, you guys, for the mommies. It is a back to school challenge. Jackie and I are working out the details right now, but there'll be promos coming out. So next Monday is a 3-day challenge in the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group. If you are not already a member of the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group, Jackie's going to put up a link right here for you to join, because we have 503 lovely moms and dads in there. Thanks, Jack. There was something going on in my woods back there, and it's making a lot of noise. So join the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group, because it's fun. We have a lot of fun stuff going on in there. There's a lot of freebies. There's a lot of awesome moms in there. There's a lot of really funny chatter that happens. We have really been enjoying ourselves, and I'm so thankful to have you guys there, because it's kind of like I go there at the end of the day and I just crack up with the stuff that's happening in there. So join the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group. Get in on the challenge for next week. It's back to school challenge. We're going to talk about maybe some organization. We're going to talk about some tips on how to keep organized through your first month back to school, because I know some of you have already gone back to school. It's crazy talk because we still have a whole month left. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I love you so much, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great afternoon, everybody. See you soon. Bye.